Prepare yourselves for this. Hey everybody, it's Michael with Asymmetrical Preparedness. Today we're talking about traveling during the holidays and or winter traveling. If you're going to be doing any traveling at all during the winter, this is good stuff. So what I'm going to cover today is what we're doing for our preparation to travel for the holidays. As you see around me, there is snow here. There's also ice on the roads and everything right now. It is, it looks like it's about 22 degrees, 23 degrees-ish, so it's a little cold for here. And dealing with these conditions, I'm going to go over what we're taking with us and offer some advice and talk about a lot of good things. But first off, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, ring the notification bell for all, hit that thumbs up, share the videos, and comment below. Let me know, let me know what you think is good to have with you during winter travels, or what do you do to prepare for traveling in adverse weather conditions. This is one of those things that, as preppers, what do I want to do? What's my first instinct? Okay, I have two vehicles. I have a big Super Duty Ford F350 diesel long bed 4-wheel drive with a shell on it. I also have a little car. Our plan is to take the little car. But what's my initial, what do I want to do? I want to take the truck. I want to throw all of our sleeping bags in there, a bunch of blankets, all kinds of food, water, all my gear. I want to bring everything. Everything I possibly can fit in there. But because Super Duty trucks are one of the most stolen trucks right now in the United States, and we're staying at some hotels and things like that along the way in different states, I'm really hesitant to take it, even though I do have a kill switch that probably they wouldn't be able to steal my truck, and yes, I have insurance and stuff like that, but I don't know, and fuel costs, a little car, it's a little bit better. I do have cables for the car, I have 4-wheel chains for the truck, and it's 4-wheel drive though, so the truck obviously would be my first choice. But the car is easier to drive, it's a little more comfortable, stuff like that for long trips, etc. So I don't know exactly what vehicle we're going to take right now. Right now it's still the car. Because the area we're going in it's not like we're going to Montana or Colorado or anywhere like that. So some of the concerns, aren't really there as far as really bad weather, but, it may come into play. But anyway, so let me get into what we're taking. And this is car or truck. If we take the truck, we take a lot more, obviously. But what are we taking on the trip? We're taking in the car. First, I'll talk about in the cab or in the truck, whatever. It will be, we really like the I forget what exact brand they are, but there's these protein bars. So I'm taking 2 boxes of the protein bars. I'm taking a case of waters. We're taking a cooler with some food, stuff like that. We take a snack bag everywhere we go because we don't like buying stuff when we're out because it's increased prices and increased costs, right? So we always try to pack our own snack bag. So that's a good thing to do. We'll have a case of MREs with us, like I mentioned, a case of waters. We'll have sleeping bags for everybody in the vehicle. We will also have, like I said, chains and or cables, depending on what vehicle we take. I'm taking my primary defensive tool. I'm taking what I call my long-range patrol recce chest rig loadout, which has an IFAK. And a bunch of good stuff on it. If you've seen my videos, you know about what that is. You've seen it before. Taking my battle belt, which has another IFAK on it. We also have 3 first aid kits in each vehicle, bug out bags in each of the vehicles. Not bug out bags for each person if we're in the car because space is limited, but we're taking lots of cold weather gear, layering systems, base layers, all that stuff like that. Good coats. I'm taking my extreme boots. Throw in the over boots for my son if he has to get out. He has winter boots also, but the over boots are really good. Gloves, balaclavas, shimogs. These are all good things to take. Don't forget about your hands because you're going to have to work. I also throw in a pair of leather work gloves if I have to go put on chains or cables and such. Also threw in a hand saw. If we take the truck, I'll take my steel MS362 professional saw with a 25-inch bar, as well as fuel for it and other supplies like that. But in the car, I do have a tool bag I have basic hand tools in there. Actually more than basic hand tools a little bit, but I have some oil in the car, some extra oil. I have some extra coolant in the car. That's very good. We just had new tires put on the car, all season tires. We also just had an oil change. We just had the transmission serviced. So yeah, we're taking care of things, so that should be good. Another thing that we're going to do is if we take the car, or truck actually, is a truck not so much because I have I have six 5-gallon cans of diesel in the truck, in the back of the truck also. So not necessarily the case with the truck, but the car, when we're traveling, I'm not going to let the tank go below half a tank, which means stopping for gas or fuel more often. Yes, that's true, but if we do get stranded somewhere, we'll be able to have enough fuel to keep the car running, to keep us warm intermittently in between bundling up our sleeping bags. Say we're stuck on the side of the road or something like that, and it's freezing cold outside. So that's something very important to do. Choosing your routes is very important also. If say you're going across the United States, I'm in Washington, say I'm going to Connecticut. Well, I'm not necessarily, I wouldn't be taking the northern route right now, right? I may not even take the middle route. I'd probably take the southern route. I'd probably go down through California and, across Texas and all that stuff like that, and then back up. Take a little bit longer, but not necessarily because you wouldn't have to deal with all the weather conditions. So plan your route properly. Also, identify everything between where you are and where you're going, as far as towns, as far as availability of fuel stations, roadside stops, rest areas. Identify as much as you possibly can. Also, make sure that you have in your mind, if you know anybody en route, so that you can call them up and say, hey, I'm stranded here, can you help? Stuff like that. Tribe is important. What else do we have in the car? So yeah, I covered that stuff. Packing base layers. I'm packing my gaiters, my Gore-Tex. I already mentioned gloves. I mentioned my tactical kit, layering systems. For the little girl, I'm bringing, making sure she has gloves, making sure she has her good boots with her. My son, he got those over boots, making sure he has plenty of warm stuff to layer up in also, as well as the stuff you normally need for the trip. Some other things, let me see, what I did, first off, what I do before I travel for the holidays or a long trip is go through your vehicle and take out everything you don't need. Clean up all the trash, clean it up, vacuum it out, stuff like that, and make as much space as possible. That way you can fit in all this stuff. Good things to take are also like wool blankets, quilts, fleece blankets, all those kind of things. I threw in a box of those hand warmers, like I said, MREs, and don't forget waters. That's really important. And the vehicle maintenance part is very important. So what else am I doing for this trip? Good question. I am making sure, one thing to note, if you have chains and or cables, make sure you have bungee cords to use to tighten the chains and or cables. You might be able to make do with 550 cord. I threw 100 foot of 550 cord in also, just in case I need that, say a bungee cord breaks or something like that. 550 cord will do real well in that situation to cinch you down really tight. One trick that I've learned over the years of using chains and cables is, and I don't have a ton of experience, but put them on as tight as you can, roll forward, 20, 50 feet, something like that, tighten them again. Then, go 200 feet down the road, tighten them again. Go a mile down the road, tighten them again. Then you're probably good, but make sure that they're tight and check them often. If you feel anything or hear anything weird, pull over, check them, retighten them every once in a while anyway, just to check on them. Every time you stop also, say for fuel or whatever it is, just check them. Make sure that if you're traveling in adverse weather conditions like that, if you have locking hubs, you don't necessarily need to be in four-wheel drive, but you might want to think about locking your hubs. So that in my truck, I have locking hubs and I have that vacuum sensor 4-wheel drive automatic system. The little vacuum thing doesn't work that great on my truck. It works sometimes, it doesn't work sometimes. So I can just, without the hubs locked, I can switch into 4-wheel drive, and sometimes, yes, I will actually go into 4-wheel drive, but sometimes I won't. So if I think I'm going to need 4-wheel drive, I just lock the hubs. And then all that's doing is that stuff up there is spinning, but you're fine. You can drive like that for quite a while. Don't worry about it. And then if you need to be in 4-wheel drive, all you can do is flip that switch, throw that lever, whatever, in your 4-wheel drive. So that's good. Take it slow. Also, one thing I hate out in the snow is, normally I don't like slow drivers. Well, when I'm adverse weather conditions, I can't stand those people that just think that they're impervious to everything. The Subaru drivers are, not to attack anybody, but from around here, they're the worst because they think that they're impervious because they have all-wheel drive. I've pulled so many Subarus out of the ditch with my truck. And remember, also, if you're in a big truck, mud tires, snow chains, stuff like that, don't be stupid. Make sure that you're driving carefully. I hate those people that will come up right up on your butt and, driving too fast for the weather conditions. Sorry, checked in with family. Yeah, so take it easy, be smart. Make sure you have plenty of warm stuff. Make sure, like I said, the fueling system, don't go below half a tank. Unless you absolutely have to, then get fuel as soon as you possibly can. The best thing to do is take extra fuel with you. In the car, we don't have the space for a fuel can, so but the truck we do, like I said. Just be smart, be safe. I love you guys. Have a wonderful day, and blessings to you and yours.